Then there's the ninth, is friendliness, metta parami. Difficult not to smile. Metta parami means goodwill, friendliness, that you are gentle towards other, or friendly disposed, even to your enemy. The Buddha's perfection to the third degree of that one was, once he was a king in a small, there was a lot of kingdoms like in Europe, also in India at that time. And so they were always in war and invaded each other's kingdom to get the other neighbor's kingdom also. Was more city kingdoms, have one city and then some villages around it. Not very big. So he was invaded by another king. And then he was hanged upside down first together with his son. And then afterwards they were digging down in the earth with only their head above the earth. And it was the meaning, it was in his own castle yard he was digged down. And the meaning was with that he was be trampled down by an elephant. They will push an elephant to walk over them, and then they will be smashed. Their head will be smashed with an elephant walking on them. So a very brutal form of execution. The rats are running around on the roof. Nevertheless, the Buddha, he was not angry with the other king. He stayed friendly towards the other king. And he stayed so friendly towards the other king, even though he was digged down together with his son. And he was within an hour or two of being executed. The other king became so impressed about it that he was not angry, that he asked him about it. And then the Buddha answered that it wouldn't help to be angry in this situation. On the other hand, it will only make it worse. So the first king, he decided, he was so shocked by this, that he could see that the Buddha, he spoke the truth, the Gautama Bodhisattva in his former life. So he digged him up and gave him his kingdom back and apologized and went back to his own kingdom. Became his friend. So this is a very important thing. Those who said the Buddha, he says in Dhammapada 1:2, that those who say, the others say they beat us, say excuses. It's important to remember this in these terrorist times. Huh? The others say beat us, they shoot us, everything. So we are entitled to do evil towards them. No. You can only overcome evil with good. You can only win over hate with love, with friendliness, with goodwill. There's no other way. If one reacts aversively towards hate, then it grows into a big fire of hate, of conflict, killing and maiming. And if you succeed killing somebody else, then there will be revenge and revenge and revenge and revenge. So it'll be like a vendetta in Sicilian, in mafioso language, a vendetta, where it's tit for tat killing. That's very detrimental, very disadvantageous. One should stay with this goodwill. It's better to let them other people kill you and stay with the flowers in your hand than becoming angry and taking up the gun. No guns. Stay with the flower. Flower of power. Huh? Very forceful. Very forceful. It takes force to stand there with your flower. It reminds me of Mahatma Gandhi, the great person of India. He made one of his first scoops was to make a salt marsh. The English, they have a monopoly on selling salt, which was made by the sea. And so they earned money, the colonists earned money on that. Then Gandhi, he said, that's too bad. It's India's salt. How can English people make money on our salt? So he started walking towards the sea to make a protest for that. And millions or thousands of people, they joined this march. And actually, I think there was many thousand that when they arrived at the sea. at the salt marshes, where the English soldiers, they were protecting it. Then they went up to the English soldiers, and the English soldiers decided to beat them down with sticks. Then Mahatma Gandhi says, it's okay, they can beat us down with sticks, but we don't give up anyway. We just come again. So they make a long row of people, 3 at a time. It came up, and 24 hours they have to beat them down with sticks. They get 1 stick, so bleeding their head, and they go back into the queue. Then they have to get another stick, head in this stick in the head, to be beaten down. They didn't give up. They never protest. They never fight. Eventually, after some days, the English gave up. They decide there was photographers there from the press arriving after several days. They couldn't start shooting the protesters, and the protesters just keep coming. There was an endless row of Indians that wanted salt, as little as that. Salt for your egg, salt for your food, necessary, huh? Because of this non-violence, ahimsa principle that Mahatma Gandhi, a lawyer, he applied there. There's some goodwill in this non-violence principle. And this civil obedience, sit-down protest, huh? Not violent, not yelling, sit down. That he actually overcame the English colonialists, even though they had guns, because they were overpowered by his goodness and by the determination of his followers, which again was dependent upon his goodwill. He was not angry with the English soldiers. He just had this opinion that was true. This was the Indian salt. It was not the English salt. So the Indian people should have free access to it. It came from the sea. Huh? So he won a war by goodwill, the Salt War, the Great Salt March. And this example we should take. It's a good example. Don't give up on goodwill. Then you lose the whole thing. It's running down. You're throwing the baby away. It has to be there. It has to be there. One should be utmost gentle, kind, benevolent, and teach and serve others that. That's important. Just as water refreshes and cleanses unjust persons without discrimination, so does the perfection of friendliness include both friends and foes alike, and doesn't display any distinction, favoritism, or partiality. So one is friendly with everybody. How to practice on the pillow. One starts to be friendly with those you are well disposed towards. Your friends, your children, whoever you love, your spouse, your parents. Then some neutral persons, could be at workplace. Then when you're skilled at that, you take up the difficult object. Is to be friendly towards those who are hostile towards you. The terrorists, the evil boss, the angry spouse, the irritating children, the naughty children, whoever, the opposite party, political party, that your political party, the other team, the other football team, or whoever it can be, the other religious, those who are from the other religions, for example, the Muslim religion. Goodwill, 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 goodwill. I'll ride with you was an example, huh? I'll ride with you was this hashtag that somebody in Australia, right after she's seen a Muslim woman, she was afraid to go into a train. And then one other woman saw her on the train station, and say, don't be afraid. We know you're not a terrorist. I'll ride with you. And so she went into the train with this Muslim woman and protected her against others' opinion, against this discrimination. Because of course, it's a very small minority of Muslim people who are terrorists. Very small. The rest are not terrorists. Huh? So one should have goodwill towards these persons, then it will fade away. If one starts to fight, push, even in your mind, even in your heart, the whole thing is lost. It's an important issue. Conflict dies right there with this goodwill. How can somebody else fight you if you don't fight? If you smile with your flower?